I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. We just finished up this turn of the century luster and it turned out gorgeous. This is beautiful. Really, really pleased. And it sounds great too. We'll check out the inside in a minute. Why don't we listen to it? It's been in the shop for a couple days, so it's a little dusty, but refinished it. New keys. Those pedals are original, but we've plated them. Actually, why don't we, since we're right here, let's check out our plating room. This is kind of fun. Since we just happen to be right next to the plating room. Oh, and we have some pianos that are at, or some pedals that are at different steps. So we've got our nickel bath right here. We've got our copper bath, and we've got our zinc bath. So the nickel is the first one that sticks to the steel. Let's find, so yeah, something like this. We'll go, first we'll tumble it and then clean it really well. It'll go in the nickel bath, the nickel will stick, go to the copper bath, and they'll look like that, look like copper. And then finally they go in the zinc bath, and then with heat, the zinc and the copper combine to make brass. And that's what the final product, got the sun shining directly on them. That's what the final product looks like. And here, plated that, and that looks great. The keys over there, there's Ezzy doing the keys. She did the keys on this piano. She did a great job. Okay, some of the things that you look for in a good key job, I'm looking at it right here because you can see the notches. They all just line up in a beautiful, perfect straight line, and the reveal between the end of the sharp and where the notch begins is consistent from one note to the next. The notch, all the notches line up, they meet. One notch isn't higher than the other. They all meet, they're all 90 degrees. Everything's flush, straight lines, beautiful key job. She also did the bushings, which things aren't wobbly. There's a little bit of play in there, which is what you want, but not so much that it feels sloppy. She also put on new sharps. There again, consistency is key. Things being straight. It's gorgeous. And refinishing. We can hear the sounds of the refinishing room in there. Refinishing other pianos. And it's gorgeous, and it's just super smooth as glass. Okay, why don't we listen to it, and then let's check out the inside. That sounds nice. 100-year-old pianos without being restored, they don't sound like that. Sounds great. That's fun to play. It's just really easy, really consistent and smooth. The mistakes there are all me, not the piano. So okay, let's check out the inside. Okay, beautiful restoration work. First we have plate here that why don't we again, since we happen to be right here, let's go look at some plates. I think this is a really fun part of the process. Every time. Is the mic on? Okay. So here's a plate here. What it looks like when it comes out of the piano. Very ugly and just dingy and dirty and inconsistent and chips everywhere. And then we have, here's a very dusty piece after it's been cleaned. And then this is a piece, this is what it was originally. It was this design, and we altered it to that. So still kind of a decorative thing, but a little different than what it was. Very heavy cast iron. Got 18 tons of tension in all the strings, between all the strings. There's the Baldwin, which is why we need cast iron. Beautiful plates. And then here's one more, fresh out of a piano. This thing weighs a lot. So as ugly as that is, that will be, I mean, you know, after 100 years, I think anyone would be pretty ugly. So it'll look like that. And then these bolts, all of that, just look absolutely gorgeous. Those are the original bolts. Those are not plated. Those are polished actually on the drill press, sanded from 60 grit all the way down to 2000 grit and then buffed. And that looks amazing. All these strings are new. Tuning pins are new. Benchmark of good stringing job. We've got 3 coils. We've got half of the hole showing on the other side. That's going to give us good tuning stability. The height, the level of the tuning pins is consistent. Dampers, I think this was an addition that we put in there. This section here, generally the dampening is not sufficient. There are usually flat dampers on 100-year-old pianos in this section, but we added the trichord dampers just because they dampen a little bit better. They can be a little bit more finicky, which is I think why 100 years ago they used flat dampers. But trichord dampers, even though they are, like I said, a little more finicky, they do a better job. So in my mind, it's worth it to go with the extra effort. We also put triple dampers that are quite a bit longer than the originals, so that these dampen a little bit better. If you've played 100-year-old pianos, you know what I'm talking about. It just kind of echoes on. And these pianos, after we rebuild them, it's just, you know, this, I was actually going to say they still do echo a little bit, but it's much, much better than what it was. But I'm going to have to not say that. I'm just going to have to say they dampen like a modern piano. Wow, amazing. They don't always dampen that well.
Yeah,
That's yeah. I'm really impressed with how well that dampens, and again, I would attribute that to the longer dampers and to the trichord dampers around this first break. Hammers, beautiful hammer job. We've got consistent straight edge here, straight edge here, straight edge at the back. Everything looks beautiful. They're nicely spaced, properly aligned to the strings. We've got new hammer butts. The whippings are original, but we've refurbished them. So as one example of the refurbishing process, we break off all of the jack glue joints and re-glue them, because that's always a catastrophic failure when the jacks break off. So we just go ahead and preempt that and break them all off and re-glue them. So that's not going to happen for another, hopefully, 100 years. Long after we're gone. Okay, down here we've got the trap work. Trap work is all beautiful. We've got a new bottom panel here because the other one was just cracked. And so when we put in the new one, here, if you bring the camera down, you can see we've got a bevel right here, and then it's painted black so that it is just kind of disappears into the visually. You don't see it. Like I said, the pedals, we replated those. We've got new parts here, new brackets that hold the pedals. Then this is the bass bridge cap. The old bridge cap was cracking, and we replaced it. We used Mylar to index, I guess, where all of those holes are placed on the old one. And then we actually do straighten it out a little bit, because a lot of times these pins, some will be slightly up and slightly down. So we'll straighten that out just so it looks prettier. And then as far as the left right, I guess that's the straightening it out is kind of the Y coordinate, and then the left right coordinate, the X coordinate, I guess you could call it, that we get directly from the Mylar template, so that it's consistent. The rest of the bridge was in really good condition, so we didn't replace it. We did refinish the soundboard. We always repair any separation of ribs or cracks in the soundboard. Repair all of that, lacquer it up so it's nice and beautiful. And let's just listen to this piano one more time. Thanks, Susan. Turned out great. I think they're gonna love this piano. We're delivering it this coming Wednesday.